Lizzy with Long Distance Gamers, and I'm going to talk to you about my play of Gloomhaven. So really quick, I have completed the entire campaign. I've actually played 75 scenarios, and I did focus on military. So that's kind of the base statistics as far as how I went about the campaign. So I'm going to try to be as spoiler-free as possible. And I also did not complete the original Gloomhaven, so I can't do a full comparison as far as which one I like better. But there are some things I can talk about. So for starters, I do love the game. Obviously, I played the entire campaign, so obviously I enjoyed it. I played with, my husband did play one character, but I played all the characters in the box. The 4 that you could buy have not arrived yet, so I can't talk about those. But this one, it was very interesting. You had, versus the first edition, you didn't have factions. This edition, you had the sects, the military, and the merchants. I actually kind of wanted to do the merchants because I was curious how that would go, but all the ones I kept, I got some of it through the events, some through the different scenarios you did, and I just kept getting military. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go full force into military. And it provided some interesting things. Maybe I'll try to replay the campaign and go merchants and see if there's a way to easily do that. It definitely pays off to devote yourself to one faction early. While it can have some negative impacts, the negative impacts are very minor and are kind of like a haha sort of thing versus the benefits you get, because sometimes you might get a helper in a scenario because you aligned yourself with a certain faction. So that is very interesting. I liked the campaign sheet. It is the one that is the edited one that they posted that has the road and city events that you unlock when you unlock characters. I definitely liked this. The different storylines that came up when you got the reputations up to certain things, which, by the way, my reputation ended at 9 for the sect, only 4 for the merchants, and then I was still at 20 for the military. So I kept that reputation up as high as I could. I will say the imbuements, you unlock it maybe about halfway through the campaign, if I remember right. It's definitely an interesting way of changing the difficulty level. If you read, there's the rules in the rule book, but you can't play it until you unlock it. It's a nice way to not only get some added prosperity, because if you do the imbuements and you cross it off, occasionally you'll get to cross off the prosperity, which my prosperity I actually managed to get all the way up to a 9. Some of the events helped, some of the scenarios helped, and then of course the Great Oak helped. I love donating to the Great Oak. You not only get blessed, but you also get prosperity, which gets you those cooler tools and equipment that you can use. As far as what I think about the characters, so the characters themselves, so in the original one, I did play the Tinkerer first, and I loved it. I know a lot of people were like, oh, he's super underpowered. I actually think that he lost some power in this version. Just the way his cards worked, they just seemed a little bit less powerful. And then another character that I played was, it was an unlocked one, so the Cthulhu or Squid Face. Yeah, that's what it's called. That one, I definitely liked the first edition one better. There was a new, it came with these tiles that you could use to apply to different things. Didn't really like that. I liked the powerfulness that the Cthulhu provided in the first one, and I kind of missed that because some of those tokens you had to use to be able for your cards to have any impact. And so having to play that, it just didn't work for me. Now, one of the ones that I never played in the original was the lightning bolt. I didn't think I would like that one, but just the way that the cards worked and how you managed your resource, very interesting. I don't know how the first edition one was, but I really loved that. Didn't think I would, but really liked that. Which other ones did I see? Oh, the Too Many ones. Loved that one. I think it played fairly similar first and second edition. I definitely did the trying to do spoiler free. The one where the build where you're focusing on the second mini. That's the build I did. Circles. One of my friends was going to unlock this one next, and I'm actually kind of glad he didn't get to that point because I don't know if I would like to play that one. It focuses on mechanism. It's very much about one particular type, and it just wasn't one that jived with me. Now, of course, the sun one, I kind of like the way that it got unlocked in the first edition better. So in second edition, it was in a retirement. First edition, it was based on where you got on, I forget what track. Probably just your general reputation track. I definitely liked that better because it was, you had to get your reputation high enough to be able to unlock that character. And the way that character played, I feel it was a good doer. And the higher reputation, I feel like, would apply to that a little bit more. And sorry, that might have been a minor spoiler. So what can I say that's not spoilery? Episode 0. Oh, I didn't include episode 0. So actually it was 76 scenarios played. Even when you're familiar with Gloomhaven, I still recommend it. You get a tiny bit of resources, which, my opinion, when you're weak at the beginning, it's nice to get that extra little bit without having to work super hard for it. So that way you can start the ground running in scenario 1 and further on be able to feel more powerful a little bit faster. I will say I got my table and I basically used it. I had it set up for Gloomhaven pretty much all the time with the various, I had the folded space insert. So I had these set up on my table at all times. And then if I wanted to play a different game, I could just put the leaves on. So the setup factor wasn't too much for me. I also have the maps, this one, which is very nice. So I didn't have to sort through a whole stack of maps. It was just in there. So I definitely really liked that. Folded space insert, highly liked that one. Wasn't hard to put together. A little bit of glue, some foam. It wasn't bad at all. Organizes everything very nicely. Oh, something I could talk about. I definitely like how the back of this shows you what it is and how they line up, and you can see the storyline as it progresses, where you came from, where you're going. I really like it when they're doing this. I do have one more scenario that is unlocked, which I'm waiting to play with my husband. But other than that, all the other scenarios have been played that are unlocked. So I'm like, I don't know how to unlock everything else. Hopefully that happens soon. Or I could just play them because the campaign's over. So what difference would it make? So as far as would I recommend this one or the first edition, there are certain things I like better about this one. So in the first edition, you have the room and you see everything right off the bat. So when you go to plan your next thing, you know what's in the next room. So, I know if I do 6 steps, I can reach that next enemy. Versus in this one, you don't know what you're walking into until you open that door, and then you go to the book, the scenario book, or not scenario, but the section book, and it will tell you how to set up that room. I really like that. I wish that was in first edition, because that is a great addition as well. This map is, of course, new in this edition as well. The characters, I really liked some more in this one, some more in the other. So it kind of depends on what you want. If you want to see that room opening up, then definitely you could either go through the section book and set them up as you go, or you could play the first edition. To me, they're both great. They're both amazing stories, with the exception of one story in the first edition, like number 3, I think it was. Did not like that one. But if you find first edition really cheap, you might want to do that one. I do like how there's these envelopes that you can unlock, and this one, you know, can have something interesting, and that was about to be a spoiler, but I stopped myself. I don't know what else could be spoiler free. Oh, I do like the first edition had wooden tokens for the not the mana, the magic, the wind, the frost, those. This one is just the cardboard token, so I grabbed the wooden ones out of my first edition and put them in this one while I was playing, so that way I could enjoy it. My first edition came with there's a language in here that translates, you know, 1 for 1 for A, B, C, D. My first edition had that alphabet translator thing. This one did not. I just grabbed it out of my first edition one. It's the same language. But yeah, but I highly recommend either edition. They're both fantastic, especially if you like Gloomhaven. You might want to do the Gloomhaven Jaws of Lion first if you're unsure, because that's shorter campaign, lower price point, unless you can find the first edition really cheap at this point. But it also teaches you the game. The first edition or the Jaws of the Lion does, and that's the way I wish I would have learned, because it spoon feeds you, but at a good pace. So I still would recommend probably that Jaws of the Lion first. But yeah, if you're gonna get it, I would highly recommend the folded space insert and that map binder collector organizer thing. And if you do a different one than military, let me know how you did it, because I am curious how to get the merchants up there for next time. And the puzzle book, I didn't like it. I liked the puzzle book much better in first edition. The puzzle book, this edition, it was very much you had to get certain things, and it wasn't so much a puzzle as you just had to find the stuff and know what it meant. And I miss the kind of more riddle type that was in the first edition. But thank you very much for watching, and until next time, just remember to have fun, be present, and be you. Thank you all for watching. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to reach out to us. We would love to hear from you. Also, if you find value in our content, please like, comment, or subscribe. Let a friend or family member know that we exist. Help us spread our channel and bring remote gaming to a table near you. Thank you very much, and have a great day.